Hey, this is Penguin. I'm giving you now the top 10 weirdest things in the universe. Stay tuned, you might learn something. Big, dirty clumps of dust, gas, and plasma. That might sound like something you'd find under your bed, but in fact, it's what makes up nebula. These light-years wide clouds are galactic factories drifting across space, while baby planets and infant stars spin out of them in their cooling edges. Smart dudes with really big telescopes have found all sorts of beautiful nebula scattered across the cosmos. They come in fun shapes like horse heads, crabs, or pillars, unlike the things under your bed that come in shapes like dirty socks or crusty tissues. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, so-called dark nebula are the goths of the universe. Clouds of vapor that drift aimlessly and grow so dense in places that they block out all the light behind them. When stars run out of fuel, they don't just flicker off and die. They detonate into gargantuan explosions that shed layers of gas far off into space. That material eventually coalesces to form new stars in a billion-year galactic-level cycle of birth and death. Luckily, we're left to admire their stunning beauty from a nice, safe distance, but not for long. Our sun is a ticking time bomb, biding its time until it blows and ends life as we know it in a cataclysm of molten plasma and gas. And billions of miles away, alien astronomers will simply check it off as another supernova in a backwater little solar system called the Milky Way. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, members of the fledgling rock group Supernova use the Citizens of America to choose a lead singer on the reality show Rockstar, the band called Supernova. Soon after the camera stopped rolling, however, the band ran into legal trouble and had to change its name. Oops. The universe is huge, newsflash, and all across it scientists were finding radio noise that they couldn't explain. Then one think outside the box man figured out it was radiation left over from a very big, very old explosion, namely the Big Bang. It's out there, everywhere, the clearest evidence supporting a theory that lies at the very heart of our most fundamental questions on existence. Heavy stuff, huh? If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, scientists use this patchwork of decaying energy to measure the temperature of space. It turns out it's a frosty negative 454 degrees Fahrenheit out there. It was only a few years ago that scientists discovered the universe was expanding at an accelerating pace, a fact that caught them completely off guard. Further research showed the rate of expansion has been slowing down and speeding up throughout time. The only possible explanation was a mysterious, invisible form of energy they dubbed dark energy. Experts in the field tried to explain it to lay people like us as a patchy magnetic field that stretches across the universe and slows its expansion more in some places than others. We're just supposed to nod knowingly and hope it won't kill us. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, the model of an accelerating universe means the inevitable and proverbial end of the universe might happen sooner than expected. It's called the Big Freeze, a theory stating that as the universe keeps expanding, everything will eventually get so far apart that it will freeze and drift into oblivion. At least we had a good run. Scientists with a lot of time on their hands decided to take an inventory of the universe and figured out how much it weighed. When they tallied everything up, all the stars, the comets, or Uncle Vern, the numbers just didn't add up. Then, stereotypically named Swiss astrophysicist Fritz Zwicky hypothesized that a bulk of space is made up of a mysterious substance that can't be seen or measured by our current technology. He stood, presumably looming over a lectern in front of a crowded astronomy convention, paused dramatically, and deemed this invisible stuff dark matter. In the years since, we've figured out ways to actually measure the stuff and prove that old Fritzy wasn't talking out of his black hole. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, dark matter is out there, but it's just really hard to see, unless you apply the viral theorem to the coma cluster of galaxies and see that their kinetic energy should be at least half of what it is, or just take their word for it, like I do. There are some pretty weird things going on deep within the fiery bellies of burning stars. The heat and gas pressure cause all sorts of particles to fly around and smash into each other. Out of that stellar soup leak some of the smallest things known to man, neutrinos. They radiate out from the sun and spread across the universe. So with billions of suns out there, there's a lot of neutrinos flying around. In fact, right now, countless neutrinos are passing through your body. But don't fret, they're so small they can pass through miles of lead unhindered. So your spleen isn't in any danger. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, the crew of Star Trek's USS Enterprise found neutrinos particularly handy, using them for everything from force fields to deep space communication. In other nerd news, we just admitted to watching Star Trek. Not just a great Scrabble word, quasars are among the most powerful things in the universe. They are a form of massive black holes found at the center of some of the oldest galaxies that fringe our universe. A lot of stuff gets sucked in and is squished infinitesimally small. We're talking about meteors, planets, the occasional star, and an insane amount of energy is released. It slowly radiates out into space, and billions of years later, it gets picked up on Earth as radio waves. Quasars. The amount of heat loss is unconscionable. The amount of heat loss is unconscionable in today's reality of environmentalism. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, things like quasars constantly bombard Earth with radio waves. That might sound dubious until you consider that it would take eons to collect enough energy from these waves to power your laptop for even this long. When a star dies, it collapses inward, literally squishing its electrons and protons so tightly they fuse together to form neutrons. Imagine something as huge as our sun being compressed down to an object just 10 miles in diameter. The resulting neutron star is the densest known thing in the universe. How dense is it? One sugar cube of neutron star material would weigh 100 million tons and likely make your Starbucks very, very hot. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, the famous Crab Nebula contains a neutron star. This glorious chunk of galactic eye candy is a remnant of a giant supernova that could have been seen from Earth as early as 1054, if we weren't all just diseased, superstitious goat herders back then. If you thought neutron stars were cool, you also love their close cousin, the Pulsar. These dead stars spin around unimaginably fast and emit massive doses of radiation in short bursts, so constant they can be used to set clocks here on Earth. They have a magnetic field 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. That kind of strength, coupled with the speed at which the little guy is spinning, mean that the radiation pouring off it is systematically tugged away from us at amazingly precise intervals. Warning, trying to think about this too hard may cause your head to explode. End of warning. If you think that's the weirdest thing in the universe, some scientists suggest that there are actually a type of galaxy-to-galaxy Morse code device, but these people are shunned at telescope parties and gossiped about at the lab consistently. Have you ever really stopped to consider what black holes actually are? They aren't imaginary things made up by science fiction writers. They're old stars that have cooled so much and grown so incredibly small and dense that their gravity attracts everything around it, including light. Where does all that stuff go? To heaven? Maybe Pittsburgh? I don't know. Black hole is a bit of misnomer. Since any light that comes near them is sucked away, technically they should be called invisible holes, which is a cooler name anyway. If you think that's the coolest thing in the universe, it's been theorized that our future sons or daughters could use a black hole's gravitational whirlpool to slingshot off into deep space at nearly light speed, perfect for when the Blowzark's donut on Arjax 4 puts out a fresh batch of crawlers. So what do you think is the weirdest thing in the universe? Let us know by commenting down below, and also give us your thoughts on future top lists. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Be well, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. That's going to be the purpose of this. We're going to be doing the top 5s and top 10 lists. Some of them scientific, some of them just funny. Who knows? Let me know what you want to see by putting it in the comments or send me a message. This is Penguin Speaks. Be somebody important. Be yourself. Peace out.